Welcome back, Libromaniacs. How are you doing? Whatever time it is for you. Today we're going to be talking about some more cryptozoology. I'm going to read a quote from the legendary, infamous book Forbidden Archaeology by Michael Cremo and Richard Thompson. Now, this is a fascinating book, and there's actually a smaller version of it, but the paragraphs I'm going to read are truncated in that version. That is a truncated version of this rather large book. I recommend both. I have both. And the reason for that is because there's a lot of stone evidence in the first half, and I'm more interested in the second half of the fossil evidence and the cryptozoology part. And that's what we're going to be reading from today. The passage begins here. Is it really possible that there could be an unknown species of hominid on this planet? Many will find this hard to believe for two reasons. They suppose that every inch of the earth has been quite thoroughly explored, and they suppose that scientists possess a complete inventory of the earth's living animal species. Both suppositions are incorrect. First, even in areas such as the United States, there remain vast, unpopulated, and little-traveled areas. In particular, the northwestern United States still has large regions of densely forested, mountainous terrain which, although mapped from the air, are rarely penetrated by humans on the ground. Second, a surprising number of new species of animals are still being found each year, about 5,000 according to a conservative estimate. As might be expected, the great majority of these, some 4,000, are insects. Yet Hevelmans noted, quite recently in the mid-1970s, there were discovered each year around 112 new species of fish, 18 new species of reptiles, about 10 new species of amphibians, the same number of mammals, and 3 to 4 new species of birds. Most of the mammals were small, and that might lead one to doubt that a large mammal such as a wild man might someday enter the list of living species. But the 20th century has seen the discovery of many large species, known from native reports which were initially disbelieved. The largest of the bears, the Kodiak bear, was unknown to science until 1899. The largest rhinoceros, Cotton's white rhinoceros, was discovered in 1900. The mountain gorilla, the largest member of the ape family, turned up in 1901. The largest lizard, the Komodo dragon, was first captured in 1912. In 1975, the largest known peccary, or wild hog, Catagonus wagneri, was discovered in Paraguay. This animal was previously known only by Pleistocene fossils. In 1976, a large and entirely new species of shark, 4.5 meters, almost 15 feet long, and weighing over 700 kilograms, or 1,500 pounds, was caught by the U.S. Navy ship in the ocean waters off Hawaii. So it is not completely outside the realm of possibility that science may someday come to fully accept the existence of wild men, which may prove to be previously unknown types of hominids or primates, or surviving representative of fossil hominids such as the Australopithecines, Homo erectus, or the Neanderthals. It would not be the first time that science had found examples of quote-unquote living fossils. That, if you use Occam's razor, that's what we tend to think, oh, these are previous, this is a new species. Why? Occam's razor would say it's a near extinct species. And Neanderthals at the top of that list for the Yeti and Almas and Kaptars. What exactly the Sasquatch and Bigfoot are is is it a taller version of that came across the Bering Strait? Is it a separate species? Is it like, there's different types of bears? Are those the Kodiak bears and the other ones are the grizzly bears? How's that going to work? If you use Occam's razor with this, you're not predicting something unknown. You're predicting something that's not extinct, and we have fossils of. So, Neanderthals are still with us, people, and they are in areas that, as I've said before, there's terrain that it literally takes, all day to hack and climb and scrabble your way a mere 300 yards, and that type of terrain, you're not, and again, Neanderthals have bigger brains than us. So this is the wolf, which have bigger brains than dogs, and it is smarter than dogs. We are the domesticated primate. They are the wild version of us. Good luck hunting it down. Good luck finding it. And they appear to be, I didn't used to think this. There's this movie called Harry and the Hendersons, which I actually saw when I was a kid. And you just think they're big walking Chewbacca's and they're nice and they would never hurt anybody. No, they're wolves, man. Wolves don't always hurt people, but when they do, they're killing machines. And so are these guys. And anyways, I wanted to read that quote, and they also talk about, this is interesting too, there are fossils of something called Chirotherium. It's believed to be a goat species, and it's known only from its hoof prints in the fossil record. Like it doesn't match anything else, so scientists are like, oh, okay, it's got to be a new species, and they named it Chirotherium. Well, we have not only do we have footprints of wildmen that don't match any known species in areas that are not penetrated by when the Sherpas are taking Eric Shipton and his crew up Mount Everest, and they see these footprints that are larger than humans in areas that we're just getting to, like when we're first climbing Mount Everest. It's there's eyewitness reports, there's the tradition. See, the issue here, what people don't realize with cryptozoology is the real issue is not the lack of evidence or science's unwillingness to speculate. Dark matter, dark energy are speculation. String theory is all speculation. Copenhagen interpretation of quantum mechanics, all speculation. Science isn't afraid to speculate. So there's no reason cryptozoology shouldn't be allowed to speculate when we already do it. We do it for Chirotherium. It confirms two things. It confirms myth, and indirectly it confirms the Bible. When it comes to, the Bible has 7 quote-unquote mythical species in there. Like the unicorn and dragons and whatnot. So that's the real issue. Like science's unwillingness. Science has an atheistic bias. It didn't always have it. Originally, it had an agnostic bias when Newton and Boyle were, pioneering the way for modern science. But after the time of Darwin, atheism rose, and that bias has permeated science. So that's the real issue here. And you can prove that by looking at the Wikipedia page. Look at all the things they call cryptozoologists: white colonizers, intolerant, murderous, blah blah blah. It's all the same accusations. Like they connect cryptozoology with just about every negative stereotype there is, but almost all of them overlap with the negative stereotypes of Christianity. So that's the real issue here, is this confirms myth. And atheists, they don't believe in gods and they don't believe in God. So you can't confirm myth and you can't confirm biblical myth. And So it's not lack of evidence. The wild men are in the Bible as the Serim, Seirim, and it could be a helicopter or a drone. But so yeah, it's not from lack of evidence that cryptozoology is frowned upon. It's the fact that we're supposed to be disproving myth. I mean, it's kind of ludicrous. If you look up something like a dragon, like the closest science will say is it was some type of land crocodile. It's like, you can't fathom the idea that there was a pocket of some, we have things from the dinosaur age. Crocodiles, turtles, Komodo dragons are all from the time of dinosaurs. We have a lot of living fossils that are savage, things that have managed to, evolution got right the first time and they've never been improved upon. So one other guy didn't make it, like you can't conceive that these reports of dragons, and they all match fossils, and it's crazy. It's crazy that cryptozoology is considered a fringe subject. But yeah, I think we gotta start using Occam's razor for things, like not assuming it's a new species, just looking at the fossil record and saying, what species do we know of that this could be? Before, once you rule that out, then you can speculate about a new species. Yeah, the Bible, in the Bible they're known as the Serim, these shaggy wild men. It usually gets translated as shaggy he-goats, but it actually is best translated as like satyrs, the half man, half goats. But you take those far enough back and they're not goat-like, they're actually just hairy hominids. And that's how they're portrayed on like Etruscan vases and whatnot, carvings and gilded stuff, mirrors. And so it's easy to prove this. It's so, and what's even worse is science is constantly speculating about a missing link. Since the time of Darwin, they've been speculating about a missing link. They went so far as to make up a missing link. They made up Piltdown Man to have this missing link. And it's like, well, we're just, the wild man is already known. We don't need to make a new species. It's right there. It's called whatever the local people call it. Bigfoot, Yeti, Sasquatch, da-da-da-da. So the wild man's already known. Like the half man, half ape is out there. And there appears to be some variation. Like there appears to be, at least in the Pacific Northwest, big versions of these guys. Is that because that environment is so much richer, it can afford, since it's migrated over here to get larger? Is that going to prove to be just like this giant Neanderthal whenever we catch one? Or is it something else? Are there multiple, I'm imagining it's a bear-like scenario. You've got Kodiak bears, and you've got polar bears, and you've got grizzly bears, and black bears, and brown bears, and, there's all types of bears. Well, there's at least two to three different type of wild men. Not counting the pygmy one, the ones we have the bones of. Like that, like the short little wild man is known as an Agagwe, and the Agagwe is kind of where the legends of trolls come from, so it overlaps with mythology and legend. And then in that same region where the Agagwe is Homo florensis. It's like, oh, the little mini guys, and they call them hobbits. There's about 20 real names for them, and they call them the one fictional name. Like, that's how out of touch science is with this subject. But anyways, that's all I got for today. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.